All right, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of my review of Marvel's Echo. Man, I gotta say, this episode was better than the last one, but it wasn't. It was better than the last one. That's what I guess that's what matters here. Um, there's a lot less to talk about with this one. It was kind of 30 minutes of just like nothing. I don't know how else to explain it. So I'll give some background before I get into the positives and negatives of this episode. Uh, in the last episode, also I should warn, all my reviews will be super spoilery. I just decided I'm going to talk about spoilers because it's easier to give you an idea of the show with spoilers. So, the end of that last episode, we have Echo Maya. Um, she asks I think it's her cousin or an uncle, I'm not sure which, um, for help with robbing what they make you assume is robbing a train car of Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin. And in this episode, she decides she's going to do it. So she gets the help of her cousin Biscuits, and she does stuff with the train. That's literally the entire episode. It's literally she gets help from Biscuits. She goes, does what she wants on the train. It shows the aftermath of what she does on the train, and then it shows her uncle that she asked for help, who denied her, saying, "I have to clean up your shit now." And that's literally the entire episode. There's nothing more. Last episode, the pacing was awful. It just skipped around a bunch. This one, the pacing is actually the opposite, where instead of a bunch of things happening, nothing happens. So, yeah. But that was basically the basic gist of the episode. Um, just like I did last time, I'll start with the positives first. Few positives. Cousin Biscuit, who is her cousin that helps her. I like him. he's he's kind of supposed to be like an idiot, almost is what it seems like. But he seems like if he was a real person, I would be friends with him. He seemed like a pretty all right guy. Uh, yeah. So he's pretty good. We got more scenes with Grandpa, and I like Grandpa. He also seems like a good guy. He reminds me of my grandfather to a degree, so like I like seeing him. Um, there's a scene later that I'll talk about in my negatives that is a little weird with him, but I like most of the grandpa. He just seems like a caring guy, and I like seeing that. We don't really see that much. We don't see like a male caring figure that's just kind of like a real person, but he feels like a real person. Um. Oh, in this episode, they I didn't talk about it last time, but I probably should have just to be a little bit kinder. Their use of sound, I actually don't mind it. So what they will do is they'll switch between like how normal, I shouldn't say normal because that makes them sound not normal, but how a regular person hears. Like they'll play the music really loud, and then they'll play like, oh, like in this one, the train sound and all that. But then it'll play from Maya's perspective, and everything will go silent. They'll have some sound just as um like this is what she hears, and it's like a heartbeat usually or something like that. I don't mind that. I mean I don't know by episode 5 how I'll feel about it, but 2 episodes in, it felt all right. It was nice to be like, oh, hey, look, uh this is what she hears. It's a neat little thing. Um, and my last positive was once again, Grandpa's cool. I like him. I like the Grandpa and Biscuit. Those two are cool. And Jilly and Billy Jack. That's yeah, Billy Jack, or is it? Yeah, it's Billy Jack, which is Biscuit's dog. I like him too, but that's because it's a dog. So okay, time to get into the negatives. First one, uh, Cherokee cause bad. So at the beginning of this episode, they show the past and they show the Cherokee in a the Cherokee versus the Choctaw in like a ball game of some sort. It kind of almost reminded me of like rugby, maybe. Maybe not rugby, but something similar to that. And it was kind of weird. But like they were fighting over who gets to stay in Alabama in this ball game. That was like the outcome of it. It was kind of weird. And they were like painting the Cherokee as bad for some reason. I don't really know why. But I mean, I guess it happens. Just like with a lot of modern media, they have um girl power a lot with that. It was kind of like, oh hey, girls did it too and all that, which I guess it's whatever at this point. I think it's goofy, but it's not overly egregious yet. They're not like pushing it in your face really. It's just kind of there, which is more fine than them pushing it in your face all the time. Um a little bit later there's a scene with Grandpa, and this is the scene I was talking about, that I thought was a little weird with him. And it's like an almost racism thing. So Grandpa runs like a, what is it, like an antique shop or something? It's about what I would assume, or a pawn shop maybe. You could consider it that, an antique or a pawn shop. Um, and he just he's trying to sell this urn or whatever to these to a white couple, and he makes a funny joke. Actually, I thought this was, it was kind of funny, but he's like, "Oh, I hear it whispering to my people," and he is going in and he's like, "Buy the," he's like, "Buy the urn, buy the urn, buy the urn," and it was funny. But then the white people are like, "Do you have any authentic like Navajo rugs?" And I was just like, "Okay, that's okay." So it was like an almost racism thing. I don't know if that's what they were trying to say, but that's what it felt like. It felt like kind of like they were like, "Oh, these guys are a little bit racist. They only understand the Navajo." But like, I don't know. I thought it was kind of weird. Like, if these people are vacationing here, I mean, I guess it's Oklahoma, and so you could extrapolate that. Oh, well, they don't know because that's just it's the Indian Reserve there, and they don't know who which is who. But I feel like if you're gonna go to this reserve, you would know, or I'm assuming it's a reserve. I guess they don't really say, but I think it's implied. But still, you would think that they'd be like, "Oh, we're going to the Choctaw people." I don't know. Maybe that's just me trying to glean more out of this, but it was kind of weird. Um, yeah, and then also Maya. I don't like her as a character. She's really like angry at everything, and she just like hates. She doesn't take other people into consideration with her thing, and like she cares about family, right? That's what started this all. It's because her father died, but like her other family, she just was like, no, I don't like them because grandma told them to move away 20 years ago. So she hates all of her family, it seems like. It's kind of what's implied during this episode. She doesn't really care about them because, like, oh, she's trying to start a war basically in their village. Or I guess not village. It's kind of like a village. It's not really a small township, whatever. But she tries to start a war with Fisk. But my only question is, Fisk, she shot him in the head. Why would she assume he's alive? We know he's alive as the audience, but how does she know he's alive? I don't really understand. It's not super clear, but yeah. So she doesn't really care about them, and poor cousin Biscuit is just getting led around by her, and so they're just causing all sorts of mischief. Um, and I just am sitting there going, "Your poor cousin, he's helping you out, and you're just gonna treat him like dirt." That kind of sucked, but That's also because I just really like Cousin Biscuit. He was pretty nice. We also got to see more of the grandma, and she's kind of like, she kind of sucks. So grandma is like, oh, hey, Maya, I want her gone. I want her out of the town. And I'll just have this on the background for you. Because her father did stuff many years ago because he was a criminal, but I don't know. What they're implying here was grandma hates everybody because of, I don't know, just because she just hates Maya. Which, so I was like, okay, the grandma's just a shitty person. Like, what the hell? But what else did I have in here? Oh, so later in the episode, when they're on the train, well, when Maya's on the train, uh, she breaks into a train car, and her pant leg gets ripped. And they, like, for no reason, it just randomly, her fake leg gets caught and the pant leg rips, and she has to rip it away to show, hey, look, see, I've got a fake leg. Remember, guys, I'm an amputee. I got a fake leg. I don't really get why they had to show that, but they did, and I don't know. It was kind of unnecessary, but yeah, they really wanted to show it, apparently, her messed up leg for some reason. They're trying to really push that. Hey guys, remember, she has fake leg. Yeah. And then not but 20 minutes later, her fake leg gets caught in a. So when she's on the train, she's running to the back of the train to be able to jump off onto Cousin Biscuit's truck. What's Grandma's truck, but Cousin Biscuit's driving it. We'll get into that later. But um, so she's running to the back of the train. Well, she falls and gets her leg caught between the so if you've ever you'll probably seen it in movies or so. Each train car is connected by big locks, basically. That's what they are. And her leg gets caught between that lock and like the edge of the train car, and it gets crushed. And that's just it. That they just get it crushed for no reason. It didn't make any sense. It was just kind of like, hey, the leg's crushed now. Isn't that? Oh, look, we're bringing some drama. I guess it was kind of dumb, really, but it leads to more grandpa scenes, so I don't mind that much. Um, but when she's trying to get her leg unstuck, she can't move the train car because obviously it's a whole freaking train car. So then she gets to see the past and her ancestor, the first Choctaw, the magic space people from the cave. And then she gets powers and she pushes it open. So this is the first instance of that I can remember in this show of her using her powers. And my only question is, what are her powers? From what it seems like, they just have maybe super strength almost. It's not super clear. Um, yeah, it's just kind of like, oh, hey, you get like super strength or something. They show it again. They showed it earlier in the episode with the Choctaw and Cherokee game. The Choctaw won because of the superpowers, but it seemed like just super strength. I don't know how else to describe it, but I don't believe that's supposed to be her powers. Not in the comics, at least. It's not her powers, but I don't know. Powers are super vague. I don't really understand it. Well, anyway, so the reason she was on the train is there was a package, and it's supposed to imply, oh, she stole something. Or she talks to Cousin Biscuit, and he's like, oh, when she jumps on the truck, because oh yeah, she also damages the truck, which is not Biscuit's truck, it's Grandma's truck. So Biscuit's gonna get in trouble with Grandma because of it. But when she jumps on, there's only a little bit of damage. She like cracks the front windshield. But later it shows like the truck is all banged up. Like the front windshield is severely cracked when it only showed the top getting cracked before, just a little bit. And then the front bumper is falling off, which they didn't even show that. So I don't know how the front bumper got broke, but I guess they don't care. Yeah, it was kind of dumb. But yeah, so Cousin Biscuit takes the fall for her. Um, again, and he has to. So he goes to a family member that's a mechanic, and he has to sell his PlayStation to make money so he can repair Grandma's truck. So even though Maya should have been the one paying for it, because she's the reason it even got broke, because she fell on it. But yeah. Anyways, the reason she was on the plane was she wasn't stealing something. Actually, she was planting a bomb. So in one of the train cars, there was it was D9 is what it was. There is a package that's like basically warheads. It almost looks like. For some reason, Fisk just has warheads. I don't know why, but he does. And Maya puts a homemade explosive in there, blows up the whole factory with Fisk's goons that the train car got delivered to, and just to send a message, I guess. She wants everyone to be like, oh, well, we're not following Fisk anymore. We're going to follow Maya because she blew up a bunch of people. Which, okay, cool. And this leads me to, once again, saying, I don't like Maya as a character. She kind of is like a shit human being. And I guess you could say, oh, well, that's because she was raised by Fisk mostly. But, like, she wasn't. She was raised by her father, who seemed like they didn't show a lot of him, but he seemed like he was a caring father that was trying to give her a better life. And maybe it's just a few years after he died when she's with Fisk that she just turns into a terrible person, but I don't know. She rubs me the wrong way. I can't stand her. She is actually my main gripe with the show is her because I just don't like her. I don't like anything she's doing. She's just unlikable as a character, as a person. I don't know how we're supposed to follow her and be like, yeah, that's our hero. They're trying to make it darker like Daredevil, but I liked Daredevil. He wasn't a bad guy. Yeah, there was like, oh, well, who says you can be the arbiter of justice and things like that? Sure. But like, he was likable. Charlie Cox played him like super, like, yeah, hey, look, he can be a likable guy, things like that. Yeah, he's got his demons, but he's a nice guy. But Maya, there's nothing to like about her. She's just kind of like an asshole. And then, well, that's it. That's the entire episode. Yeah, I didn't have as much to talk about in this one. It felt like a nothing burger of an episode. Like nothing happens. The train scene it's just the train, and I don't know. I felt like I wasted 30 minutes. I don't even know where it went. The episode was like short, but it was still 30 minutes long. So, I don't know. It just felt like a nothing burger episode. Like there was things that happened, obviously, like, oh, Maya started her war with Fisk, even though she should be under the impression he's dead. She shot him in the face, but in the eye even. So like he should be dead. But he's not somehow. Yeah. That's it. That's going to be it for this video. You guys like the video, leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment. Tell me what I can improve on. And as always, subscribe. It really is a great help. As a final word, if you really want to watch the show, go for it, I guess. There are parts to like about it. I like her grandpa. Um, most of her family's pretty all right. Uh, But if you want to watch it for a main character that you're going to get involved with, like, oh yeah, you actually care about this character, don't watch it. She's not your character that you're looking for. But yeah, thanks everyone.